Hi, I wanted to give a brief video explaining the different approaches to end times prophecy. This will be about getting a handle on the four major Christian interpretive systems. Now, before we look at the various systems, let me make a very important distinction about prophecy, and that is that some prophecy is about the consummation and other prophecy is not. Prophecy about the consummation concerns the events which everyone agrees are at the end of history. Those events are the physical, bodily second coming of our Lord, the resurrection of the dead, the final judgment, heaven and hell, the new heavens and new earth, and the eternal state. We call these consummation prophecies. It is very important to remember that all Christians, no matter what their interpretive system, believe that these consummation events are still in our future. It is about the other, non-consummation events that there is disagreement about the timing. Non-consummation events include the tribulation, the rise of Antichrist, and the millennium. With what I have just said in mind, we are now ready to begin our brief overview of the four major interpretive systems. We start with a simple timeline. The timeline starts at the resurrection of Christ and ends with the consummation, which, as I have said, includes the second coming of Christ, the final resurrection and judgment, heaven and hell, and the new heavens and new earth. To our timeline, we will add sections denoting the past, present, and future. This is important because each interpretive system is designated by when they think the non-consummation events spoken of in the prophecies will take place. As noted earlier, non-consummation events include the Great Tribulation, the rise of Antichrist, and the millennium. There is no agreement among the groups as to when these will take place. One group sees these events in our future, another in the past, and two groups see these prophecies as applicable to the entire timeline. Futurists believe that non-consummation prophecies about the tribulation, Antichrist, and millennium are still in our future. There are two variations of futurist systems, historic premillennialism and dispensational premillennialism. I hope to make another video about these sometime. For now, it is enough to know that there are two futurist systems. By the way, the common term with these systems, premillennialism, refers to how these systems understand the return of Christ in relation to the millennium, that is, the 1,000-year reign of Christ spoken of in Revelation 20. Premillenarians believe that Christ will come before the millennium, that is, his coming will be premillennial. At the other end of the timeline, we have preterism. The word preterist refers to things in the past. Preterists believe that the Great Tribulation and the Antichrist are in the past. Most preterists believe that these things happened in relation to the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Preterists believe that the millennium started during Christ's ministry and will continue until he comes a second time at the end of history. Again, I hope to make a video about that soon. We have now briefly talked about two of the views, Futurism and Preterism. I mentioned that the other two views believe that the non-consummation prophecies concern things that occur along the entire timeline from the resurrection to the consummation. Historicism, which was the view of most of the Protestant reformers and the Puritans, understood these non-consummation prophecies to be about major events in the history of Western civilization. For example, it is a standard feature of historicism that the papacy is identified with the Antichrist. Other prophecies are understood as predicting the rise of Islam, the French Revolution, and so on throughout Western history. We come now to the last view, idealism. Like historicists, idealist interpreters understand non-consummation prophecy to apply along the entire time from the resurrection to the consummation. However, unlike historicists, idealists do not believe that the prophecies refer to specific events and persons. Rather, the prophecies present principles by which God deals with his people and the world. For example, when one reads in the book of Revelation, for example, that God will protect his people in trials and tribulations and persecution and will judge their enemies, idealists understand this as expressing an eternal truth that God will always be with his people and will always judge evil, etc. Thus, the prophecies, or rather the principles that the prophecies embody, are applicable to many situations throughout the interadvental time. So, that's a quick run-through of the four major interpretive approaches to non-consummation prophecy. I hope that this has been helpful. May the Lord bless you.